I made my girlfriend cry for admitting that my best friend is more attractive than her. I am a 25 male and my girlfriend is 24 female. We have been dating for almost a year now. Before we became official, we were friends for at least 4 years. Other than my girlfriend, the second most important person in my life is my best friend, who is a 24-year-old female. We've been best friends for more than a decade, and she's been there for me for all my lowest points. I literally would not have survived this long without her. Our relationship is purely platonic. I admit that I've had a crush on her before, but we both admitted that it would be better for us to stay as best friends. And that was that. She isn't the stereotype girl best friend either. She's just my best friend who just so happens to be female. She respects boundaries, and I'd like to believe that she genuinely just sees me as a friend, and vice versa. We've been each other's support systems for a long time, and even trust each other more than our own parents. Recently, my girlfriend asked me if I think she's more attractive than my best friend. For context, my best friend is a successful fashion model/influencer. She looks like your typical model/influencer, tall, slender, clear skin, while my girlfriend is honestly short, quite chubby, and has a lot of acne. I love my girlfriend. I really do. She has social anxiety and thus sometimes goes for long periods of time without contacting me, but I've never once felt any doubt or temptation to cheat or find someone else. I accept and love her as she is. When she asked that question, I answered that yes, I believe my best friend is prettier. I mean, come on. My girlfriend is a normal girl, and my best friend literally gets paid and receives lots of free stuff solely for her looks. She got offended and started crying. She hasn't talked to me in a while either. I don't understand why she's acting that way. I mean, the answer was obvious, but it doesn't make me love her any less. I clearly chose to date her instead of other women. I accept her as a whole package. I told my best friend about my answer, and she slapped me. Now, she's been on my ass to make it right. Was I expected to very blatantly lie to my girlfriend? Wouldn't it have been worse if it wasn't honest? Anyone with eyes could clearly see who is the more attractive one. Wouldn't it be a slap to her to just lie to her face that way? I don't get why I have to be the bad guy in this situation.
Comments. She didn't ask who was the hottest. She asked who you thought was more attractive. If you can look your partner in the face and say, "My best friend is more attractive than you," then you don't deserve your partner. Your partner should always be the most attractive person in your eyes, and if they're not, then maybe it's best to part ways. She deserves to be with someone who thinks she's the most beautiful person in the world. Another comment says,
Who describes their girlfriend as short, quite chubby, and has a lot of acne? Like Jesus, that's brutal. If my partner described me like that, there would be a problem. And another comment says,
Are you sure you aren't interested in your best friend more than your actual girlfriend? Because I get those vibes. Am I the asshole for moving out of my parents' house where I was paying rent and without any notice when I was told to give up my room again? I am 18 male. I have 3 younger brothers, 16, 13, and 12-year-old. Our parents were always a little harder on me than them, and I know that can be normal sometimes. But something that always drove me crazy is when they were hosting people from my dad's family, I would be the only one asked to give up my room to keep them. People from dad's family stayed over a lot too. So there were a lot of times I had to sleep on the couch for them. Sometimes I didn't even get much notice. My brothers never had to give up their rooms. In fact, if there were more than usual, my parents would add blow-up beds to my room for them, and the guest room would get a mattress or two depending on the situation. It always bothered me, and I spoke to my parents about it several times. I thought we had a breakthrough last year when they told me they had not wanted me to feel that way, and they would do better. After I turned 18 and started working full-time, I started paying rent. One of the agreements we came to was there was no more making me give up my room. I told them since I was paying for that room, now the least they could do was respect that. This was never formally implemented. A bunch of family visited a month ago, and my parents told me to give up my room for them to have space. When I tried to stand my ground and also talk to them about it, they told me it was their decision. It was their house. Instead of just accepting it, I called my grandparents on mom's side, and I asked if they had room for me and were okay with me moving in. They said yes immediately, and they came over to pack me up and move me in. My parents thought it was a joke until they saw all my stuff being brought out to my grandparents' car. My parents told me I couldn't just leave, and I was paying rent, so I needed to give them real notice. I told them if I was kicked out of the space I was renting, then I was just going to leave. Ever since, my parents have been telling me to move back in, and they said it was childish to move out in such an overdramatic way. They told me I left the family members who were visiting feeling awkward and like they were intruding. Am I the asshole?
Comments. Not the asshole. They can't have it both ways. Either it's their house and their decision, in which case you're free to decide you don't want to live there anymore, or you're paying rent for that room and they respect that space. Expecting you to pay rent, then still kick you out of your own room whenever guests arrive, is ridiculous. Moving out wasn't childish. It was the natural consequence of them ignoring the one boundary you asked for.
Another comment says, "Not the asshole. Honestly, you handled that really well. You didn't yell, you didn't cause a scene, you just found other arrangements and left. Very adult, if you ask me."